we cute? Want to learn how to make us? Hey everyone, it's April, and thanks for stopping by and watching my crazy creative life. And we are still in 13 snacks of Halloween. And today is day 6. We are making these little cute meringue ghosts. And everything I guess I have said in this series is it don't take much ingredients and it doesn't take much time. Well, for the most part that's true, because I'm trying to find stuff that doesn't take a lot of ingredients and not a lot of time. But these little ghosts, they take more time, but they're not hard, and it doesn't take much ingredients. It's just your egg whites and your sugar and your cream of tartar and then whatever flavoring you want. So very, very simple. It's just you have to do the process a correct way, or they won't, you won't get your rise in the meringue. So anyway, I'll go ahead and shut up, and let's go ahead and jump on into the recipe, and I'll show you how to make these little cute things. All right, with this, I'm going to take just a separate bowl to crack my eggs in, because with this, you want to make sure you do not get any yellow mixed in with white whatsoever. If you do, it could potentially mess up your whites when you're starting to whip them up. You also make sure that your bowl and your whisk is exceptionally clean. Even if it's clean, wash it again if you even halfway second guess. Of course, some soapy water, and you can also take some vinegar and kind of wipe around in there, because if there's any grease at all, any residue of grease at all, it can also mess up your egg whites from getting all fluffy. So let's go ahead and try to, I do the back and forth method. Some people's got the little egg separator thing. I've just always, for the most part, done it this way. I know you can't really see what I'm doing. Let me see if I can. Okay, there's one, and it turned out good. Okay, all I do, oops, oh man, I got some of my egg white out. I just kind of go back and forth. That's how my mama taught me. And that's pretty much all of the whites. There might be just a smidgen left, but I'm not gonna, if I try to go for that, then I'm gonna get the yellow in. Okay, I'm gonna let them egg whites come to room temperature before I do anything else. So probably about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or so, then I'll get started on them. All right, we are back. The eggs have been sitting out, I know, a good 30 minutes or so. They are at room temperature now. But remember, when you're cracking your eggs and separating your eggs, you want them cold. But then the egg whites, as long as you don't have any yolks in them, the egg whites, you want them to come up to room temperature. Next, we are going to add 1/4 a teaspoon of cream of tartar. And what What cream of tartar does, it stabilizes the egg whites. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in there. Then it's a pinch of salt. So I've got my pink Himalayan in my little bottle. So I'm going to, oops, just a pinch of salt. And we're going to go ahead and turn it on before we add our sugar. It'll be a 1/2 cup of sugar. But I'm going to go ahead, put it down, lock it into place, turn it on, and we're going to whip it up until it's kind of a frothy looking. Once it gets frothy, then we will start slowly, gradually adding in our sugar. The reason you do that, that helps to kind of break up that sugar and help those sugars to just melt, I guess you could say, and not crystallize. That way you don't have like a grainy meringue. And also, before I forget, I'm going to put my vanilla in here. And she didn't really say how much to put in hers. I think I'm going to try about 1/4 of vanilla and 1/4 of almond. I think will be enough for this. I know back at Christmas time, I made peppermint meringues, and they were really good. Gosh, my mom went crazy over them, so I definitely going to have to make her some more here in a little bit. But just a little bit of almond and a little bit of vanilla. You can't beat those two flavors together. Okay, let's go ahead and turn it on. Let's plug it up. Now let's turn it on. Okay, I tried to pull you in so you can see a little bit better. You see kind of how frothy that is, and I know it's loud and I'm having to overtalk it, and I apologize, but I don't know any other way to do it other than a voiceover. Oops. So now I'm just going to, I'm not going to dump the whole sugar in at once. I'm just going to slowly sprinkle some in. And you can even go at different angles. I'm going to wipe this off with a little bit of vinegar to make sure that there's no greasy residue on it. Just like I told you with your bowl and your whisk, you want to make sure that it's clean and then kind of wipe it down with a little bit of not alcohol, April. A little bit of vinegar, just to make sure that there's no grease. Okay, what I'm doing, I just want to make sure that I scrape down all of this sugar down into the bowl before I kick it on high, and that way that will also help to ensure that you're not getting a bunch of sugar crystals. All right, that should be good. If I haven't told you already, have your oven preheated to 225 degrees before we pop them. So I've got mine preheating as we are doing this at the moment, but 225. Okay, that should be good. I've got all that sugar scraped down and it's all incorporated. So locking it back in place. I'm going to slowly bring this up to high. We'll get to the high speed, and then once we get to stiff peaks, it's going to be glossy, and I'll show you. You see what I'm talking about? Those peaks, they are not like leaning over, like crooking over. But see how that's not going nowhere. It took a minute, but I finally got it out of the wire whisk. Now, remember, this is still raw egg, so don't be trying to eat any of this just yet, because it's still raw egg. It can make you sick. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my popping bag. Now, either I don't have a large round tip, and I was thinking I did, or it's somewhere, because the only one I could find was my star tip. And since I'm doing ghost, I don't really want to use the star tip. Plus, this kind of gives me the opportunity to show you, if you don't have a large popping tip, you can still do this. So you just want to get a disposable popping bag and start filling your bag up. Kind of have to push down as you go. Now, if we was not doing ghosts, if we wanted to do something else, say we wanted to make it look like a candy cane or whatever, you can take your gel food coloring and take a paintbrush that is specifically for your kitchen and go on the inside and paint up colors. Or if you want to do like rainbow colors or whatever, you take your paintbrush with some gel food coloring and paint up that, and then as it's coming out, then it's going to have those swirls of color, and it's pretty that way. I'm not getting any airflow, that's why. So I'm just going to cut off a little bit on my tip. I don't want, because right there, if you can see right there is where it starts, like it's sealed off right there. So I'm going to go just a little bit above that, because I don't want a hole, a real big hole. And you can always cut off more if need be, but you can't add more back, you know what I mean? My hole is probably a little bit smaller than my finger, maybe. All right, anyway, let's start working this down. But I already had my tip cut out. It wouldn't have done this to me, and I just was not thinking, because there was no place for the air to escape. All right, here we go. So I'm just gonna squeeze, let up, squeeze a little bit more, and then let up. And that might be too small, because that's gonna make some little bitty ghost. Let me try one more and see. I'm gonna squeeze, squeeze, and then come up. Let me put my eyes on it, see how small that's gonna look. It looks like a baby sucking a passy. I'll show you. I know you can't see that right now. I'll show you here in a minute. That's hilarious. Okay, let me cut this tip a little bit bigger. That's much better. So that tip, I definitely could stick my pinky finger in it, if that helps. So you're just going to squeeze, kind of let up and pull up at the same time. Squeeze some more, let up, pull up just a little bit, squeeze again, and then come straight up to get that little peak. But ever how many times you want to like squeeze, release, squeeze, kind of releasing, but I'm not coming all the way up. Squeeze, release, squeeze, and then come all the way up. Let me see where, let me do one right here in that center. So I'm squeeze, release, but not all the way up. Squeeze, release, but not all the way up, and squeeze. Hopefully you can see that, and I'll try to draw it in when I do my editing. And these would make cute snowmen too. So squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze. You don't have to do it 3 times. You could just do it 2. Let's do this one too. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. There's 2. Squeeze, release, squeeze, come up. Squeeze, release, squeeze. They will not spread, so you don't have to worry about getting them real close together. Okay, and from here, I'm trying to see where I can show you. If you had kitchen tweezers, they would come in real handy at this point. But you're just going to go in there and put your little eyes. And then take a mini chocolate chip, and I'm turning it with the tip inward to make it look like a little mouth. Sorry, I'm trying my best to get you at a little bit better angle where you can see. But yeah, definitely if you had tweezers that's dedicated for your kitchen, that would be a whole lot easier because you wouldn't be getting it on your hand like me. The right angle, Emma. If you don't have a silicone mat, you can use parchment paper. All right, y'all get the gist of this. So let me finish this because I'm kind of like holding. Oop, that said I had to fall down. Because I'm trying to hold this and put these eyes on, and I don't know how bad I'm shaking you all or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to finish these eyeballs, and then I'll come right back. And then all we have to do is put them in the oven. Like I said, they cook on 225. You're going to bake them for 45 minutes. Then you're going to leave them alone. You're going to turn your oven off. When the timer goes off, turn your oven off, but do not touch the door. You want to leave them closed in your oven for an hour to 2 hours. Now, honestly, with me, it's probably going to only get an hour because I got to start cooking supper around that same time. So I'll have to have my oven. But if you don't have to have your oven, I say leave them in there the whole 2 hours. That just, because what it is, it's drying this out. It's drying these egg whites out. And while it's drying them out, it also cooks out any pathogens or whatever that can be in your raw eggs. But it basically dries out the egg whites, and then you're left with just this little fluffy, crunchy. If you've never had them, it's hard to describe the texture. Like I said, they're kind of fluffy, kind of crunchy, kind of soft. It's hard to describe the texture. The airy, I guess you could call them airy, which they do have a lot of air in them. Okay, well, I'm about done. I'm sitting here talking myself through almost getting all these eyes on. Oh, but I'll show you the other one here real quick. It's hilarious to me. It looks like a baby sucking a passy. Look at that one. This little one. It's like half the size of that one. It looks to me like it's got a pacifier in its mouth. But anyway, all right, I will come back here in just a second. Okay, so there they go in the oven. Like I said, it's 225 for 45 minutes. Once the timer goes off, leave them alone. Leave the door alone at least 1 to 2 hours. There they are. I think I didn't time it for 100%. That one fell. But I'm pretty sure I left them in there at least an hour after the timer went off. So they feel pretty pretty dry to me. Yeah, I think that they're okay. But I know I was needing my oven, so I had to go ahead and get them on out. So I'm going to set these to the side. And there they are. There's your little ghosts. Aren't they cute? Alright, that's the end of the video. Weren't these so cute? And you probably couldn't hear they're crisp. Did you hear that? I'm making a mess, but there you go. So there's just some meringues. They are a little crispy. They sort of melt on your tongue. As long as you get them cooked all the way through. And to be honest, the bottom of these, they did just the very bottom is just a slight bit gummy. So it probably wouldn't have hurt for them to stay in the oven with the door closed for the whole 2 hours instead of the hour or whatever. And I could have even took them out a little before the hour because I wasn't paying real close attention to the time like I should have been. I just knew I had to get in my oven. So, but if you've got time, let them stay in for the 2 hours to finish drying on out. But they're still good, and they still, for the most part, are crispy. But anyway, that's enough explanation, April. So there you go. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button below, please. I'm almost there. I mean, we are just, I think, almost 100 away now from the 500. So we are getting so close. So go ahead and subscribe and share this out to your friends. And I think that's it. So I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. And I will talk to you in the next one. Bye. Oh, and by the way, if you like this video, then go ahead and watch. Oh, I think I remembered. It's these two and that one. You can click on one of those if you like this.